Thanks for having me here, and I am straight off the plane. It was 25 hours to get here today, and on that we got laid over. It was crazy, like the airlines in America right now. I don't know if you guys have traveled over there, but it is a free-for-all. So with 20 minutes to spare, I have made it into this room. And I gave myself a grace of about a day, longer than that. So I was meant to be here, and I'm so grateful to be here because I get to share everything that I just learned at CamFit Pro, one of the largest fitness conferences in the world. And one of the biggest nuggets I took away was from the newest COO, and her name's Meghans. Who here has heard of Meghans? Quite a few of us in the room, excellent. And the number one takeaway from her panel discussion was that groups like this, a Women in Fitness Business Conference or event that Mel has hosted, is just an unbelievable thing, and community is everything. And this actually puts you in the top 10% of females in Australia that want to make a difference and an impact in the health and fitness industry. So I'd like you guys to give yourselves a round of applause as well to make it here. I'll give you two really hot tips after running through airport to airport. Being a female women in fitness, always carry an extra pair of shoes that are not high heels, and carry lipstick because you look fresh every time. This is almost looking fresh, right? So those are my two hottest tips. Today I get the pleasure of taking you through the future of fitness technology. And to start things off, what I'll have you guys do is grab a blank piece of paper. I see you guys have a few. And I'd like to see at your round tables, who is the biggest female in fitness and tech. So the short form acronym for this is FitTech, and I'm going to ask you guys some questions. Every time that you answer yes, I'd like you to give yourself 1 point on that piece of paper. You're just going to keep a tally and then add them up at the end and share with your group who has the most advanced FitTech company or are advancing in fitness and technology over here with their clients right now. Number one, do you have a wearable? Do you have a wearable that keeps track of calories, heart rate, anything? If you have a wearable yourself, give yourself a tick. Number two, which followed shortly after, do you have your clients wear wearables? So if you own a studio, as they come in, do you have a screen that's digitally displayed that they're able to see their heart rate, their calories, how hard they're training? Give yourself a tick if you've got that. Number three, who here has used a virtual trainer app before? And if you've heard of Center with Chris Hemsworth, give yourself a tick. Kayla and Sinis would also go into that bracket. Yeah, so I mean, he gets probably 3 because you could get him in the bedroom actually. So Chris Hemsworth goes anywhere with you now. It's amazing. And we'll also do, who here has tried virtual reality? Virtual reality. Give yourself a tick if you try virtual reality goggles. You get a tick there. And the last one, if you know what AR stands for, give yourself a tick. If you know what AR stands for. And if you were correct, it means augmented reality. So if you didn't get that one and you thought it meant, I don't know what you would think that one meant actually, AR, augmented reaction. All right, add them up. Let's see who is the biggest fit tech at your table. Give yourself a score. If we've got some zeros, I'm in the right place today. That's perfect. You're gonna get some value out of this. Three? Great. Who won this table?
Anybody else?
5? All of them. Awesome. 4 is good. 4, excellent. You didn't win. 4, good. 4, great. So are only 5. All right. Well, I hope I gave you some new value today. Some things that I learned from CamFit Pro. Let's get into it. So, my journey. I heard there was someone else who does BMX in the room. Something for the YMCA?
Action sports.
Action sports?
I do it myself there.
Okay, that's okay. So you run an action sport program? Fantastic. All right, so first of all, this is not my brother on the left-hand side right now. That is me. I grew up as a tomboy, initially playing hockey, basketball, but fell in love with BMXing. And by the age of 7, I was a Canadian national champion. At the age of 13, I was a world champion. And I spent most of my younger years traveling the world with my father and had the opportunity to be a professional athlete up until about 30. So after BMX, I went on to lead lecture at the Australian Institute of Fitness. While I was there, I decided I'd become an Australian Ninja Warrior because it was the first season that we've ever had an Australian Ninja Warrior, and I wanted to be the first Canadian on a Ninja Warrior because we still don't have Canadian Ninja Warrior yet. Lastly, what I've done as of late, as you heard, I've created a health and fitness app called Buzzville. I also do a lot of master coaching and a head of distribution for an equipment company called Total Gym, and I'm the international coach of altitude training for extreme altitude. So I wear a few different hats, but most of them evolve around the future of fitness technology and blending fitness and technology. So today I'm going to go over the importance of keeping up with tech, the impact of apps and software, the impact of wearables, and new equipment and new environments that are coming out, as well as the impact of AR and VR. What's AR mean again? Awesome, we've got one today. That's it, we've got one, and we've got VR, that's virtual reality. So, as you can see on this picture, who knows what type of program is on the screen right there? Have you guys seen that before? MyZone, excellent. And who's used MyZone? Okay, almost everybody in the room. Why do you love MyZone? Does anyone want to give me some reasons? Pardon? It's real time, yeah, absolutely.
Serves the individual.
It services the individual, excellent. What else can you do? Sorry? It connects the group, which is amazing. What makes it different than other or wearables or things that you can connect a group out there? Sorry? The visual is quite similar to Polar and a few other ones, but MyZone has an app that wherever you go with MyZone, it's going to actually track your workout. So with Orange Theory, for example, you're only being tracked when you go into Orange Theory. Whereas MyZone, if you're out for a run, it's going to pick that up on its app. Now there's a few other ones that are like that, but the biggest one is MyZone has not gone into wrist wearables because the technology thus far with regards to heart rate, the most accurate is still around the chest. And that's why MyZone has only remained that way. And if you guys do a test with regards to a wrist wearable and a chest wearable, you'll find that the MyZone is much more accurate. So that's why I've shown MyZone. We're partnered with MyZone as well. They're a fantastic company. I'm going to give you my favorite companies as I go through. And if you have any questions at the end, I'd love to take them, or as we go throughout, please feel free to raise your hand or shout them out. So firstly, I'm going to take you through a little video with some sound, I hope. And this is going to give you why technology is important right now.
That's not very loud. At your risk.
This one was surprising. And lasts longer. For those psychologists. All right, so I've also got some stats here with regards to current health and fitness technology stats. Instagram influencer Kayla Sinis, for example, has 1.1 million followers. Her Sweat app had an estimated 77 million revenue in 2018. 330% growth in the global usage of health and fitness apps between 2014 and 2017. Fastest growing studios, F45, Orange Theory, SoulCycle have claimed their success is largely due to the introduction of wearables, on-screen exercises, and technology. And those are the main things that I'm going to be speaking to you guys today about. And the first one that I'm going to discuss is the impacts of apps and software. On the screen right now is my fitness app that I created and that is largely based in Australia. However, I'm sure you guys have heard of MindBody. Has everyone heard of MindBody before? Very large. It's actually the largest health and fitness system, CRM management system in the world at the moment. Both ClassPass and Buzzville Uberize fitness and make studio workout classes more widely and accessible. The other thing with regards to apps and software are virtual trainers. And these are coaching apps such as Sweat and Center, have the integration of gamification. So we're seeing a lot of new people come into the fitness industry due to the style of apps that are out there, which is fantastic. It's attracting new demographic of people to train with the introduction of gamification. Now, what was not great, and you might have seen this, was when Pokemon Go came out and we had people crossing the road and almost getting hit. So, but it was great. People were exercising that weren't normally exercising, and they found their way around it pretty quick. It allows people to exercise in the comfort of their own home. So let me show you Center if you haven't seen Center before.
I've been lucky enough to surround myself with happy gear on this platform. All of them have inspired me at one point or another, had a huge positive impact on my health and well-being. No matter where you are in the world, no matter what your day looks like, you have access to such a large variety of eating plans, training programs, daily meditation, mindfulness tips and so on, that you can access instantly. I think what's very unique about this app is being able to substitute all of these options in and out to fit into your daily lifestyle. This is the team of experts that I've interacted with over the years, and that team is now your team.
So this app did extremely well. On the first day that it was released, they had over 100,000 downloads. In the first week it was released, they had over 1 million. It did help that he's easy on the eyes, and they had Chris Hemsworth as the main ambassador. But what we found at CanFit Pro is there are actually very few trainers playing in this virtual trainer space that is widely available to us. There's a few different things that are great about the ability to go online and become a virtual trainer and still remain face-to-face. The first one being that you're not exchanging time for money anymore. You're able to do videos and then have those replayed by all of your clients. So it allows you to get out there, reach more people, give more homework, but not have to have that person come in. Now, there are cons, of course, and I'm going to go through the cons. I'm not biased. I believe that personal trainers and gym owners, and we will always have a job because of this empathy and human connection that we have with our clients, which is extremely, extremely important. This is my girlfriend after using the Center app, and she sent me this picture and said, I believe I look like Chris Hemsworth. What do you think, Meg? Everything's working out for me. I'm doing really well. Most of my clients that have used Center, Kayla Sinis, who here has clients that have used a virtual trainer app before? Raise your hand. Yep, okay. And who still has those clients that use that virtual trainer app? That raise your hand. Yeah, definitely. And most of my clients that have gone and used Center, Sinus, etc., have always come back and said, I need you. I need you there to help give me the motivation to actually get to the gym. And I really thought this $5 a month was going to do it for me because, you know, everybody was raving about this new hot Sinus app, but ultimately I gave up after the first day. So with regards to cons of the apps and software, we know that they lack empathy as they do not provide a human experience, but they do question the purpose of personal trainers due to the ability to do this online anytime, anywhere. Next up is the impact of wearables, and I'll go through what's happened right now. With wearables, we've got data that's readily available and accessible to the wearer, giving them greater control over their fitness journey. It gives us data which allows a bigger picture of their health and fitness, and it allows a new level of personalization, which is fantastic for us as trainers. What that does mean is that we need to now keep up to date with technology, understand what data we're getting from these wearables, and if we don't know the data that we're getting from these wearables and our clients are actively utilizing it, that's something that you're going to want to step into. Otherwise, they're going to be looking for trainers that do understand what's coming off of these wearables and what kind of data that you're getting. Precise tracking of heart rate, calories burned, etc. allows comparative data across groups, which we saw in the initial picture, which is also fantastic. I've got my Meg's preferred choice right here, which is Group Montezuma. It's an open platform to all devices, and what that means is that no matter which device your client wears, whether it's an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, if they walk into the studio, it will connect and show on the screen. So it's not a specific tailored, for example, MyZone screen. It actually will adapt to whatever your client is wearing. So that's a great one if you are into tech. That's the one that I suggest. Then I've got some cool things with regards to what's coming out right now. For example, Omron Evolve. It's a clinically validated wireless blood pressure monitor that is easy to use, and it lets you easily measure and record and share blood pressure data with your family or doctor using an app at any time. Another one that's fantastic, and it's widely used in the NBA, being a basketball player, it's something that I study. It's called the Firefly. It doesn't have to be worn on for an ACL or an MCL injury, but it helps accelerate sports recovery and minor injuries. Once attached, it delivers painless electrical impulses to gently activate the muscles and get the blood circulation going. And the last one, and I actually just saw this when I went into my best friend's baby's bedroom, so this is already here, is the S+. It's the world's first non-contact, fully comprehensive sleep tracking system. So it actually tracks your sleep. If you guys have seen, there's sleep rings that have come out, but this is the first one that is non-contactable, and it just stays in your bedroom and it allows you to track sleep. One of the most widely talked about topics at CanFit Pro for health and fitness professionals was sleep, and the lack of knowledge of our clients around how important sleep is. So that was another really big takeaway. If we're able to assist our clients in understanding how important regular sleep is for their overall health, this being one of the newest technologies, it's a great one. Cons of wearables, you get obsessive compulsive behavior. I'm guilty of that. And you're often checking and you can get distracted. Clients no longer rely on personal trainers for assessments. Impact of new equipment and environment. So we've got some amazing advanced equipment coming out. This is an example of Total Gym. It's a Total Gym row that allows a client to jump on a row and use their own body weight, and it inclines and declines, and it actually allows them to have a both concentric and eccentric contraction during that time. So it's the first row that actually is going to get a challenge during both contraction periods. And CrossFit is currently looking at this to involve in the games in 2020, just because they're crazy and they want to make things really, really hard for CrossFitters. So some of the new equipment coming out is absolutely amazing. Specialized training environments, so such as functional altitude training classes leads to enhanced training. A quick stat, training at altitude burns 25% more calories than when at sea level. I was just over and they're opening the first altitude gym in Toronto, Currently, I live on the Gold Coast. We actually have 2 altitude gyms there. So it seems like we're actually more progressive in Australia when it comes to training at altitude than in Canada or the US, which is fantastic. When I first trained at altitude, it was when I came over here to play professional basketball in Perth, and I had the privilege of training in altitude. Who here has trained at in altitude before? Even if it, yep, quite a few of us, awesome. So it's not just for elite athletes, it's also amazing for special populations, because once you get into that altitude chamber, you can do less exercise at a lower impact and have the same results. So altitude training, watch out, it could be the next change of environment like Les Mills with smoke machines and DJ booths. And they're looking to open quite a few of those. Oh, I don't know if these videos are going to play. Oh, that's okay, the first one didn't. But this gives you a look at altitude right now.
Against the wristbands at the start, which we would track our calorie, heart rate, and so forth. And up on the board, it told us how
This
many
is
calories.
here in St.
The
Kilda.
best thing about the altitude, I just felt a massive oxygen deficit. I really felt the difference between low altitude and high
Right, so
altitude.
specific.
Just absolutely epic.
As a great position, low impact, and you're burning a lot of calories. It's a fun simmer too, so you train with other people, so you just get good calories.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it. I reckon you get a lot more value for the time you're putting in. I'm definitely coming back.
I would recommend it. Bring your friends along and have some fun suit and burn heaps of calories.
So if you haven't tried altitude, that's at So Pacific. It was our first ever opening of 3 different altitude rooms in the same club, and they're really promoting that right now. So we've got a functional training room, which you just saw, a cycle room at altitude, as well as a yoga slash, I think they do different styles of like HIIT classes and things like that. So 3 different altitudes, and they have them set at 3 different levels of altitude. So 3,000 meters, 3,500 meters, and then you can go into a 4,000 meter. And you do feel it. It's absolutely amazing getting in there. Benefits of training at altitude? Well, there's a lot. It increases calorie burn, muscular endurance, strength gains, weight management, and you have better cardiovascular health. So overall, it does the number one thing that our clients want. It saves them time and money. So if it allows you to get in, get a greater workout, the epoch actually lasts longer when you leave. There's a lot of different amazing benefits to training at altitude that clients will love. The impact of new equipment and environments, it's not available to everyone due to the accessibility and costs, and PTs are not educated on the new equipment and environment yet. That's why I'm flying back home in October. There's nobody between here and Canada for some reason that will be able to train the PTs at the studio about altitude. So that's how rare these master coaches are, but it's just the beginning. So this in my opinion, could potentially be one of the future trends in the health and fitness industry. Lastly, the impact of AR and VR. Brings fun back into fitness and has the potential to attract new clientele. For example, Pokemon Go, which I've already given. Takes users to places and experience they may never have experienced before, and I'll show you that in a minute, and the ability to extract user performance data, even how they move in 3 dimensions. So while you have the goggles on, my preferred one is Oculus because there's no actual connection or plug. You're free to walk around and you're free to move and exercise. It's also the least expensive. Price point's big for me as well. It will actually track how your body is moving. So it's a great new piece of technology, and I think these ones will work. So this is boxing in VR. And this is skydiving, so it can take you anywhere. And you go through this and it really does feel like you're coming into the ocean in Fiji. The impact of AR and VR cons, possible motion sickness, potential decreased human connection, of course, and it questions the purpose of having brick and mortar facility. Now, when it comes to motion sickness, that's generally just on the first 1 or 2 times, and people do get over that. So it's not too big of a con, but it could detract or make people less attracted to doing it. Now, this is what the potential of the future holds. And after this, we'll go into some Q&A.
Your partner, Bruce Banner, but he died before I was a kid. My mom too. And I ended up here. Sitting here in my tiny corner of nowhere. There's nowhere left to go. Nowhere. Except the Oasis.
So this is Ready Player One by Steven Spielberg.
A whole virtual universe. People come to the Oasis for all the things they can do. But they stay because of all the things they can be.
Can you feel this?
So suits like that do exist currently, and if you've seen that movie, he's actually jogging on a treadmill as he's in that game. Now, that was expected to bring a new level of virtual reality goggles out to the general public. However, it did not due to price point right now. So they had a disappointing amount of sales in the virtual reality goggles because the price point was still very high, but that is coming down with every month they come down. So they're becoming more and more accessible to homeowners. What does the future hold for health and wellness? Well, it's estimated that it's going to be a $27 billion value of the digital health and wellness market by 2022. So it's something that we do need to be aware of and what's coming. That just shows an older couple not knowing how to use Skype that are really, really cute. But I will take some Q&As because I flew over here. Who's got a question for me? Anybody? It's really warm in Canada. It's warmer than in Melbourne for the first time ever, I feel.
Megan, we do have a dedicated Q&A section later, so they might...
Okay, yeah, great. We can do that later.
But they might have a think about things and then have some questions
Yeah,
for you.
write them down if you guys have any questions. And if you would like to contact me in the future about any questions that you have when it comes to fitness and technology, feel free to contact me on LinkedIn. That's probably the best bet. And you'd be surprised how many fitness professionals are still not utilizing LinkedIn even after the stats that I just gave you. So if you're not on LinkedIn and you're a health and fitness professional, I highly recommend you get on. And yeah, hit me up anytime. Very much would love to help you guys. Thank you so much for having me.